Hey everybody, Terrence here. Just a reminder for the upcoming online retreat being held on the 6th and 7th of December. That's this coming Saturday and Sunday. If you'd like to come and join us, you can book on my website, www.terrencestevens.com. It's two-hour sessions on the Saturday and two-hour sessions on the Sunday. This will be an intensive. So if you're inclined, come along. We'd love to have you join us. Thanks for now. Bye. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everybody. Started a couple of minutes late today. Sorry about that. The usual suspects. That's great. Very cool. All right. Would anybody like to kick us off this evening? My evening? Any questions or any comments or any insights or any realizations? Go for it. The floor's open.
Hello, Terrence.
Hey, Ganeshram, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you.
Same here. It's been lovely listening to your words every now and then, and you've made it abundantly clear that it is all about seeing what you are not.
Mm.
And when you get to that point, you mention just resting without wanting anything as often as possible.
Yeah.
Coming back to that.
Yeah, because that's all you've got.
Yeah, that's at that point.
There's,
What else can you do? And you also point out.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
You also point out accurately. It's the easiest thing to do in a sense, because there's nothing to do. What do you have to do to rest?
Exactly. The end result, we think that there's a whole lot of doing that we need to do to get here, which is ridiculous, right? But we go through all this doing processes and practices and coming to see, coming to understand, coming to learn, watching, this Satsang, that Satsang, reading this book, blah, blah, blah. Who would have guessed in the final analysis where you arrive, there's now nothing to do? Ganesh, we lost your video. But yeah, there's nothing to do.
Just got back, Jerry. Sorry.
That's okay. I can hear you all right.
All right.
Yeah. Like that drives the mind crazy. What do you mean there's nothing to do?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to do. Once you know you're not the fabricated story that the mind has been making up your whole life, right? Once you know that, that the story is not about you. The story's about the story. And that's that just becomes so obvious. You can see that for yourself. There's a story going on. You can literally see it for yourself. When you know you are not that, and that thoughts are just happening all by themselves, when you know that, all you got left is just this. And this that I'm referring to has always been here. Just the mind has been calling this Ganeshram or Terrence or Kimberly or whoever, Ricardo, But, when you... That's why I make the statement, just abide here and want for nothing, but more importantly, expect nothing. You're here because you're here. And that's all. That's all. So you simply stay with that. You know, and this, if we want to call it this here-ness, or if we want to give it the, you know, the label consciousness, if we want to label it, yeah, there's no effort. It just is. It's just here. It simply is. Yeah. Now, anything that you have to understand, because the mind is dualistic, yeah, you're going to have to accept the fact that when you do arrive here, yeah, the mind is still going to have questions that can't be answered. It's just not possible. Yeah, not possible. So there's going to be some things that are still not understood. Yeah, but you'll also understand at that point. It's just mind trying to grasp non-dual, or it's mind trying to grasp just this experience, if we want to call it that, of just this pure absolute here-ness. Mind is trying to grasp that.
Yep.
It can't grasp it. Yeah. So there's
No.
going to be some questions that are still going to linger from the mind. Not all questions can be answered dualistically. They just can't. Yeah. And what I'm saying is that anything that hasn't yet been known or understood gets revealed simply by sitting here. Gets revealed.
Perfect. Yeah.
Doesn't need to be discovered, doesn't need to be found. That's why I say just sit here, want for nothing, and expect nothing. And anything that hadn't yet been answered now becomes known. Known. Not just another conceptual thought that floats through. Yeah.
Yeah.
For that knowing to occur, we've got to let go of the duality.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. The only place where, if any question arises, it's the when you use the words as often as possible. Come back to this.
Yeah.
And so there's an effort there. Somehow and then there's commentary about the effort that I'm not doing it as often, and so I'm learning to get used to that, and
that's okay, because when you get this close connection, everything becomes paradoxical.
Yeah.
Even for me to say, stay here for as long, who the hell am I asking to stay here for as long as possible when this here is already here? Yeah. Or come back to it as often as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All I'm saying is that, this non-dual experience that, we're trying to find, or we're trying to discover, or we're trying to land on, what we don't realize until we do, it also includes the dualistic experience. It must.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. You
Right.
can't. Yeah. So the problem is, most, and this will sound ridiculous, so forgive me, but most human beings are walking around on the planet living in a state of duality and don't even know that.
It's dual, right?
But I know it, right? So they're living in a state of duality and don't know what duality is, but living in a state of duality. Yeah. Once, there's the arriving here, just the simple arriving here, if we want to call it that. Yeah. It could only be here that would now know what duality is. It could only be this that could know that. Yeah. Because the duality can't know duality.
No.
It can't, because the duality is just thoughts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So the difference is now you know non-dual and duality.
Yeah.
But prior to knowing both of those things, duality, non-duality, prior to that, we didn't know anything. We were just asleep, living in duality and not even realizing we're living in duality, let alone what the hell non-dual is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you now you know both. But to get to the non-dual, if you like, all you got is just this. So you just stay with this. I sometimes use the language invert.
I like that.
Yeah, into the consciousness. You know, I'm sometimes I'll use the instruction, and I will admit it's a dualistic instruction. Yeah. Sometimes I'll say, just be aware of consciousness only. Instead of what we usually do, we're conscious of a myriad of things all day long. Thoughts, feelings, the body, other people, colleagues, family members, blah, 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 blah. Lots of things. Yeah. So it's just coming back to, you know, just this, just here, and just staying here with just this. But to really be able to do that, you've got to absolutely know what you're not. You have to.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, let me just say this. Yeah, like most people that are on this path are trying to find true self. What the hell does that say about current self then? That's why I say you have to come to an understanding of what you're not first. Otherwise, current self will go seeking true self. That's an oxymoron. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sorry, I babbled a bit then, but yeah.
Yeah. So when the coming back to this keep coming instruction, right? When the recognition happens that once again I've been playing the character. Before I noticed that before it would always be a guilt trip at that point. Oh, here again, I can never do this. You know, I screwed up.
Well, you got to
Right.
celebrate because you see, yeah, you caught it, right?
Now I'm seeing that that's at that moment what I'm where the thoughts are going is, albeit it's a thought, is that it magnifies what you're not. You are playing the role that you think you are, so you're not that. It magnifies that is how I can explain it.
Yeah,
And that helps to get anchored again.
Look, I used to say, I haven't said it for a while, but what a lot of us do, we'll catch ourselves. Oh, damn, I was caught up in the mind again. Like self-flatulation, right? Oh, no. But the reality is you caught it. So now you know it. It's not time for beating up on oneself. Catching it is like, okay. And just let go and here. But it's caught. That's like, if you like, you know, like, well done. Like, caught
Not
it.
flagellation.
Yeah, not beating up on ourselves. The mere fact that it was caught is a celebration. That's, okay. Yeah. My teacher used to say, smile when you realize that. Yeah. Otherwise, if you start beating up on yourself, you're straight back into the character. You're just back in there again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thanks, Ganesha.